And our top story is coming in from the U.S. in a dramatic escalation. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered 800 National Guard troops into Washington, D.C. and placed the city's police department under federal control, claiming the national's capital is in grip of violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals. Donald Trump says the move is meant to quote-unquote re-establish law and order and also public safety, even though official data shows violent crime in Washington hit a 30-year low last year and has fallen by more than a quarter in 2025. The president announced the deployment from the White House, flanked by his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who will now oversee the police force takeover. Donald Trump also warned he could send in the U.S. military, quote-unquote, if required. But Washington's Democratic Mayor, Muriel Bowser, has sharply rejected the president's claim, calling them exaggerated, politically motivated, and flatly untrue. She points to police statistics showing crime is at historic lows, not surging. Under the Home Rule Act, D.C. has limited self-governance, but Congress retained ultimate authority here. Donald Trump invoked emergency powers under that act, citing special conditions to justify his intervention. He has also signaled that his lawyers are exploring ways to strip the city of local autonomy entirely, a move that would require congressional action. Critics say this is part of a broader Donald Trump strategy to assert federal control over Democratic-led cities, pointing to his similar deployment of thousands of National Guard troops to Los Angeles during immigration protests earlier this year itself, and to his controversial 2020 deployment in Washington during the George Floyd protests. The latest action also comes despite Trump's own FEMA cutting 44% of security funding for the National Capital Region this year, raising questions about whether the move is about safety or in fact politics. For now, the streets of Washington will see a heightened federal security presence and a sharp political battle over just how much power the president can wield over America's capital city.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
Well, personally, I don't really think it's going to really do anything because I don't see what the current law enforcement is doing now. But, you know, I guess we'll wait and see. But I don't really have faith in the law system right now.
Honestly, it sounds like a gateway to military occupation. I mean, D.C. is already federal land and you're increasing law enforcement. What's the line that you're going to draw to, I guess, delineate between what Metro PD or DC PD and federal officers, the Army, the military? So it sounds like the precursor to military occupation in D.C.
So I don't really care who, I don't care if Trump runs the city, I don't care if Mayor Bowser runs the city, I really don't care who runs the city. As a business owner, there should not be crime on the streets of any city, regardless if it's Cape Town, South Africa, if it's DC, if it's New York. You should stop the crime.
So we are looking at a dramatic escalation happening in the United States of America. President Donald Trump has now ordered 800 National Guard troops in Washington, D.C., which is the capital city, placed the city's police department under federal control, claiming the nation's capital is in the grip of violent gangs and also bloodthirsty criminals. We also heard from the residents in the area. What do they have to say? What's their opinion about this decision taken by Donald Trump and his administration? But as of now, Trump has said the move is meant to re-establish law and order and also public safety in the area. Even though, if we have to speak about the official data that has been released, it suggests that the violent crime in Washington, D.C. has hit a 30-year low last year itself, and in fact has fallen by more than a quarter in this year, which is 2025. Now Donald Trump has announced a deployment from the White House. He made this announcement in front of the reporters, flanked by his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and also Attorney General Pam Bondi, who will now oversee this police force take over the entire city. Further, Donald Trump also warned that he could send in the US military if it is required, if the street turns violent over the decision that has been taken recently by his administration. But Washington's Democratic Mayor Muriel Bowser has sharply rejected the president's claim about exaggerated and also heightened crimes on the streets of Washington, D.C. He called it politically motivated and said that it's flatly untrue.